So, basically, they're saying it's been quid pro quo, that there was bribery involved, that Trump did go to Zelensky to try and he's saying, I'll withhold the money. Basically, he doesn't say the words, but he meant it. He's saying, I'll withhold the money. Basically, he doesn't say the words, but he meant it. He doesn't say the words, but he meant it. It came across very clearly in the impeachment hearings. So why is it that support for impeachment is going down for Americans and Trump's approval ratings, I can't even say it, makes me nauseous, are going up? What is it that they like about him?
It's over. The Democrats have nothing. No evidence, no testimony. The Ukrainians are even saying that nothing sketchy happened.
Democrats have played their cards completely wrong here from the beginning. I mean, we've been talking about impeachment since he came into office, right? I talk to people all the time. They say, let me know when it's serious enough, when something's actually going to happen. Until then, I'm tuned out. I'm not paying attention.
Then we go to the Senate trial next year. Republicans control the Senate. Trump wants a trial. Here's why. Lindsey Graham is going to call Joe Biden, Hunter Biden, and Adam Schiff to testify under oath in the Senate. What a spectacle that's going to be. I can't wait for that. Trump's going to be acquitted in the Senate and beat the pants off whichever Democrat runs. It doesn't even matter.
Interesting to note that independents are actually making this shift. Impeachment approval ratings is down 5%, and it's actually independent voters that are responsible for this. I think I wanted to throw to a clip of Will Hurd. If you don't know who he is, he's a Republican, in case people don't know, a Republican congressperson who is very moderate, who's not seeking re-election, and he had this to say.
An impeachable offense should be compelling, overwhelmingly clear, and unambiguous, and it's not something to be rushed or taken lightly. I've not heard evidence proving the president committed bribery or extortion.
Well, is he deaf? He must be deaf. He says he hasn't heard it. We all heard it. He's
Again,
deaf.
I think the point of the show is that every panelist on the show sort of lives in a different world and has a different view. That's the whole point of the show. I also live in Virginia, 5 miles away from Trump MAGA hat people everywhere. And there are people in this country, and there are Congress people like Mike Turner, who are not convinced what happened was an impeachable offense.
When the impeachment hysteria started, polls had Trump losing to nearly all the Democrats in Wisconsin. Now that we've seen the facts, Trump's beating all the Democrats in Wisconsin. Impeachment turned off independents big time. A month ago, independents wanted the House to impeach Trump. Now, after the hearings, independents say, no way, don't impeach at all. What a colossal mistake by Democrats. These swings in public opinion have a lot to do with the media. The media manipulates you. When Schiff was in his dark little creepy basement, he'd rig a secret hearing, cut off Republicans, and then leak specific hand-picked pieces of testimony to the press that made Trump look like he committed a crime. But when the hearings went public, the American people, they see with their own eyes. You know what happened. You don't need CNN to spin it for you.
I can remember coming on this show last year thinking Mueller had this locked and loaded. Lock him up, put him in handcuffs, this is done. But the problem is there's a distrust, including from people from me, of who to believe at this point, because I've been told time and time again, he's going to jail, he's getting impeached, he's X, he's Y. And I think for Republicans, it doesn't matter.
Here's a way the press plays word games. They smear Trump with a fake charge. Then they say the charges are not proven yet. In testimony, the media says there's no evidence, just to make him look clean. Watch.
No evidence of wrongdoing tied to his son Hunter Biden's Ukraine business.
I've seen that there's no credible allegation of wrongdoing against Joe Biden.
There's no evidence that had anything to do with the gas company that Hunter Biden was advising.
See what they do? Trump's guilty until he proves himself innocent, and the Bidens are always innocent. But you and I see through it. Game over.
I was shocked to hear Will Hurd say that. In my view, it says more about Will Hurd than it says about the evidence. I think that anyone that was listening heard nine people testify as to what they saw, as to what they heard. People that, as Anna mentioned, have served our country, someone who has a Purple Heart. And I will also say, that it tells me that he is complicit. The Republican Party has enabled this president, continues to enable this president. It is very fair. It is very accurate.
You're slandering the CIA.
And he is complicit. I don't know if it's about a political future. I don't know what it is about, but it is about
that mentality, though.
If someone says
it's that mentality that's going to get Trump reelected,
Abby, and it's about the fact that he heard evidence clear and simple, and for him to sit there and say that evidence has to be overwhelming, and that he heard no overwhelming evidence, I want to know which hearings he was sitting at.
So for what I have to say is, it's easy to get a cheap applause line here. It just is. And that's fine. Take your cheap applause line. But I, for one, Will Hurd, let me speak.
You've been speaking a lot.
I thank you, Will Hurd, for your service to our country and putting your life on the line for many, many years in the CIA, protecting us from terrorists.
And so, can
I say something? I also want to thank Lieutenant Colonel Levin.
So do I. I want to thank all veterans. I'm the only one who insisted on it.
I want to thank Robert Mueller.
But do you know what?
Got my line by. Let me please.
Do you thank him for his service? Do you thank Will Hurd for his service?
Absolutely. I like Will Hurd, but I also think Will Hurd is acting politically. I think. Look,
but he's not. He's leaving office. He doesn't have a political motivation.
He's leaving office for now. He's also going to have to make money at some point. We don't know what his future holds.
Mark Levin, America's tyranny hunter.
Maybe I'll get invited on Meet the Depressed with Chuck Todd, who has fantasies about O.J. Simpson, apparently. All this reminds him of O.J. Simpson. In other words, you, the American people. We all know that O.J. Simpson was guilty, yet in the jury, they found him not guilty. And this reminds me of the Trump impeachment period here. Yes, it does. And I'm Chuck Todd, and I'm proud of myself. Chuck Todd is a dyed-in-the-wool liberal Democrat. His wife is a dyed-in-the-wool liberal Democrat. And he's a disgrace. He can't fit in one of Tim Russert's shoes. His whole damn body. And I have nothing against hair cuttery, but brother, you need to step it up with that hair. I'm not kidding. He's trying to cover that bald spot, Mr. Producer, you know. Hey, bald is beautiful. Sean Connery, Mark Levin. So they comb it from the back front to the front, and then they cut it across. Like nobody notices. Everybody's staring at his head while he's talking. Hey, dummy, we know you're going bald. Why are you doing this? Yes. The great Chuck Todd, he earned it. He fought every step of the way to become not just the host of Meet the Depressed, but he is the senior muckety-muck on political reporting for NBC News. Did you ever believe they would have to sink this low? And then they got Stephanopoulos there over at ABC. You know what I think's going on, Mr. Producer? I think the short people are taking over. I think they really are. These little Napoleons running around. It's like this guy Stephanopoulos. He's a clown. Before he goes into the journalism. I never knew he was in journalism. Before he's attacking women viciously. Attacking them. Defending Clinton. Attacking women. One after another after another. Then ABC has an idea. Hey, let's make him a host of Good Morning America. Hey, that's a good idea. And all of a sudden, he's just another liberal. We forget about his past. Then you have Wolf Blitzed. Or Wolf Blitzer. Nobody knows where this guy came from. What did he do before? I don't know. He just showed up one day. He showed up one day. He's delivering coffee, donuts. You know, he's wearing a white uniform and one of those hats so that they don't get the hair in the food. And, you know, CNN, we were just starting out. We basically weren't in any households. We had about three airports. And this guy comes roaming in. Innocent enough. I said to him, what's your name? He says, Ernie Grabotsky. Oh, you're Ernie Grabotsky. Finally, we met Ernie Grabotsky. We got to change your name if you're going to be on CNN. What should we change it to? How about Wolf Blitzer? Hey, that is a ring to it. Wolf Blitzer. Let's give him the prime time spot. So he went from delivering coffee and donuts to being the main anchor on CNN. His name was Ernie Grabotsky, and now it's Wolf Blitzer. Then we moved to The View. The View. Barbara Walters decides she wants an opinion show. All women. That's not sexist, but all women. They have all women there. Well, one of them is kind of a woman, but all women there. And that's what they do. And what do? They scream at each other. It's the kind of stereotype you really don't want to. They're yelling at each other. They're screaming. They're throwing pens and pencils. They're pulling each other's hair. Isn't that kind of stereotypical in a negative way? And then if you dare question them, that's the problem. That's how you view women. That's how you treat women. Let me tell you something. It's the dumbest show on the air. The dumbest show on the air. They don't do things intelligently. It's not an intelligent show. But it's a woman's perspective. There is no woman's perspective. We are individuals. And how can you say that anyway when people are transitioning and they're adding genitalia, they're subtracting genitalia, they have no genitalia, they're defined by what they do with their genitalia or don't do with their genitalia. So how can you say it's a woman's perspective? What does that even mean anymore, Mr. Producer? What is a woman's perspective if genitalia is up for grabs? If you get my drift. And what about people who are transitioning? Shouldn't they have a show with 5 people who are transitioning? From a transitioning person's perspective. What do you think of that, Mr. B? I think that's a damn good idea. I'd watch that. Wouldn't you? You could watch that. Call that The View, too, or something. In fact, they should change the name of The View to The Yentas. And then have the transitioning show called The View. Where we have 5 what do we call it? Transitioners? Whatever. 5 sitting there. One person, a female, becoming a male becoming a female. Maybe you just guess. Whatever, it doesn't matter. That could be very entertaining, I think. In fact, Joy Behar. Which panel would she be on? I don't know. Joy. You have to admit you're a disgrace. Joy is much like Joe Scarborough. Stay with me. Both failed at radio. Both failed at radio. Now that you mention it, Mark, they both kind of look alike, don't they? I think Scarborough is what Joy Behar would look like if she were a male. What do you think of that, Mr. Producer? And I think Joy Behar is Scarborough, what he would look like if he were female. What do you think of that? Think about that, folks. I think I'm pretty close. Cut 5, go.
Why is it that support for impeachment is going down for Americans?
I don't know. Yes, why? Why can that possibly be? I mean, I support this and the American people don't. How can that be? Go ahead.
Ratings, I can't even say it makes me nauseous, are going up.
Joy, you always look nauseous. And you always make the rest of us feel nauseous. May I say that? With all due respect. I say that with respect. Go ahead.
What is it that they like about him? Is it the fact that there are still, 4,000 kids still at the border in custody, or that he trashes veterans, or that he makes deals with Russians?
No, that's not it. It's that he's an anti-Semite towards Jews in Israel. That could be it. Maybe. No, that wouldn't be it. That would be Obama, I think. Or maybe it could be that he rounded up Japanese Americans and Americans and put them in. No, that would be FDR, your other hero. No, that's not Trump. Trump didn't do that. Or maybe it could be that he rounded up 1 million illegal aliens and forced them out of the country and sick. No, that would be Eisenhower. Maybe it could be that he sicked the IRS on his political. No, that would be Kennedy and Johnson. Maybe it could be that they treated the Oval Office like a flop house. No, Kennedy and Johnson again. Throw on a little bit of FDR there. Maybe they threw their political opponents and their media opponents in prison. No, that would be Woodrow Wilson. And a little bit of FDR. You understand what I'm saying here, Joy? Joy Behar? You understand what I'm saying? You understand why you failed in radio? You understand why you have a negative IQ? You understand what? Never mind. I'll be right back.
Mark Levin.
For all mankind, the world's greatest super friend.
I am your voice.